If Lands Could Kill, featuring Night City, Ryke, Samhain Crow, and Hot Sauce.
And welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knife City.
This is Ryke.
Samhain Crow.
That's us.
And this is episode 46 of If Lands Could Kill.
My 30th episode.
This is his lucky 30th episode.
That's amazing.
I just found it interesting.
I think you caught up to me.
Yeah. No shit, bro.
Probably passed him up.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about apparently it's an SGG event. Yeah, so good game. No, SCG, wrote it in the show notes wrong. A new modern deck that I might be getting. And tiny leaders again, that's right.
Wow, that's so we should change our names to just if lands were tiny leaders, we would.
If lands were tiny leaders, we wouldn't be a legal podcast. So, let's start it off. What's up, fellas?
Ryke, take it away.
Oh, shit. Yeah, last time I missed the last podcast, but,
Shocker!
Did you listen to it? Because, you know, we kind of ragged on him.
He doesn't. I don't even know what a podcast is.
He ragged on me a little bit his last one.
I have no idea what that is.
Have you ever listened to an episode?
I think, like, our first episode. I might have glanced through that one a little bit. Because I was in it.
That was a good one.
Like, he downloaded it, and he's like, alright, I looked at it.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I have proof of my own episode, so,
Yeah. I've been fucking having fun with my new rifle. I actually got to take it out on Sunday. This past weekend was kind of rainy. I was going to go out to a place about 40 minutes away from our house, out in like kind of the desert area, but it was like just so bad rain. It was like literally thunderstorming where we haven't got like actually good rain for feels like forever. But I went to an indoor range on Sunday. It's the only 100-yard indoor range in San Diego, which is fucking amazing.
Is that for rifles too then?
Yeah, it does rifles and you can do pistols and rifles. So it has like a 25-yard range for. You do pistols and rifles, and there's a 100-yard range only for rifles. And it's funny because you have to qualify to actually get to that. Oh, that was nice.
That was a sweet
What was
part.
that?
Dog.
Some kind of like
Louis.
But yeah, you have to qualify. It's funny because this range is like it's so strict on like all other stuff. You have to show them that you can put your rounds on paper at 25 yards before they'll even let you go to the 100-yard range. And you have to fucking like wait like 20 minutes from to take your target out there because you can't take your target out like on their own. You have to wait for the ceasefire and everything. But I took my M1A out, my M1A Scout Squad in Wallet stock.
You have a name for it yet?
No, not yet. I am going to name it soon because I have no names for any of my rifles.
No, that's embarrassing.
No, but
embarrassing.
No, the thing is, it is amazing. It's expensive to shoot, which I already kind of knew what I was getting into when I bought a 308 rifle. But it's definitely worth all the money that I paid for it and then more.
Sweet.
And I love it. I want to put my thing in it and cuddle it all night
that
long.
small, it'll fit in that
Put
rifle.
my dick in there and just fire it
at a target.
It's like shooting into a
The look in your eyes, it was like you were desperately trying to find a joke, and you're just like drowning. You're like, help me!
Hot dog in the hallway, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, I was going for the hot dog in the hallway when Samhain Crow was like, oh, your dick can fit in there? I'm like, yeah, it's like, going in the airplane hangar.
It's like,
it's like a tic-tac in a, whatever.
What's about the anus?
Fill a bunch of tic-tacs in the anus. That's a common joke, right?
That's
a common joke.
That's what everybody says.
Small object and a large object.
Like a small phallic object and a round large object.
Yeah, that's a hollow object. Yeah,
it's
like my grandpa always tell me about phallic objects. And,
Did he show you his phallic object?
Yeah, absolutely, whatever.
Do you want to touch it?
Yeah, of course. Rest in peace, Grandpa.
Who would? But that's what I've been up to. Just drooling over my shit.
It's so funny on this cast. So many bad things happen.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, really though.
That's me.
Talk about it. I think Knife, you should kick
it off.
Yes. Well, this week on Dog Hospital.
Son of a bitch, dude.
So there's nothing too major, but the bulldog has a thing called cherry eye. Which I didn't even know was a thing.
So when you rub your ass in their face? Cherry eye?
It's the pink eye of the dog world.
Teach you to shit on the carpet.
Shit on your face.
Bad dog. Get in there.
Get in there.
Richard Gere me.
So, dogs have like this like third lens underneath their eyelid, and it keeps all like the dirt and all this crap out. And
not human feces.
Yes. And so pretty much with like droopy dogs, like a bulldog or something like that, a lot of times it won't go back down with the eyelid, and it'll kind of stay protruded out. It looks gross. You know when you're a kid and you like pull like your like eyelid, like flip it down?
Yeah.
It looks like that. It's fucking disgusting. But it's not
cherry eye?
Yeah, well it looks like a fucking butthole cherry like coming out of your eye.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad. It's like a little fucking protuberance.
A protuberance?
Anal tumor.
I don't know what that word is.
That's a high class award, not for this cast.
I know, that's why I want to say it tonight, because I know that's not that fucking word.
Big words and your small, difficult words.
So, basically, it's not, like, harmful to the dog. If you leave it untreated for, like, months and months, you know, it could provide eye problems later on. But anyways, we got some drops from the vet, and that's, you know, just great, trying to hold down a small puppy dog and put drops in his eyes. That's really easy.
Yeah, you get like 1 drop for every 9, like.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Need a refill.
Yeah. So, other than that, I'm proud to announce I made it, past where I had previously stopped in watching Bleach.
Oh, yeah.
So I had stopped like around like episode like 150, and I'm now...
150 or 150?
150. 50, 150. And now I'm at episode like 185 or something like that. So... And now I got like 100 episodes left, so now I just gotta
power through it.
Out.
Long ass show.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And they're starting to do like more and more of a battle lasts like 3 episodes, and they're in the middle of like a very quick like slash to the enemy, and then they go into like this 5-minute dialogue. Like time has slowed down enough for them to like, here, let me tell you my backstory before I slice your head off, sort of thing.
It reminds me of like Fast and Furious racing or something like that, where it's supposed to be like a 9-second race, and it goes on for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They can press the mouse button like 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's just 60 gear changes.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, why don't I just shift gears and then I'll speed away?
Yeah.
Why didn't I think about doing that before? No, let's just stay neck and neck for a while. So yeah, been watching that, and that's pretty much it.
This is fantastic openings right now. Mine are like no better. This is not good at all.
I got like nothing funny. So I'm not working right now. I'm not working at that previous place.
Oh wait, that wasn't supposed to be funny?
That's hilarious now.
So I'm like going to bed whenever the fuck I want. I'm living like these bugs over here.
You get to play more Magic now.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. Lazy fuck.
So I was like just stayed up last night and listened to like all the endings of our podcasts. I was bored and I didn't want to go to bed, and I listened to like one of them, and I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of that one. And I just listened to them all, and like fucking hilarious. We are fucking hilarious.
That's great.
And then just like fucking when you do that like high pitched like giggly laugh.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You guys aren't funny. That's the problem.
No, I was listening to the Legend of Ronald McDonald and the adventure of the worst episode ever.
Right.
I think it's like episode 8 and 9. Yeah. Good stuff. Good
throwback.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
ones I wasn't on, huh? Are you trying to say something?
That was the Ronald McDonald rape joke, right? Yeah. And then it was
that was a pedophile joke.
That was a funny ass episode.
Well, you can't have rape. You can't have a pedophile without rape. So hand in hand, hand in butt, hand in hand.
Yeah. I remembered Ryke used to be funny.
I can't imagine the day that I was.
I mean, I like had my hands on my sides, like, wow, what happened?
Slapping your knee.
What she-devil sucked the life out of me? And that mistress was called Ammunition.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ammunition.
Expensive hobbies that are not magic.
Yeah.
All right, now that we're thoroughly depressed, what's up, Crow?
Oh, man.
That's a good segue into Crow. What's up with you?
I want to do a quick shout out to Greg of the G&A Collectibles again, because I've been talking to that guy, and he's actually, after talking to me before about, told him to give him a shout out in the cast and whatnot, he's been listening to our cast and enjoying it, and he is now growing our fan base out in the Atlanta area.
Fuck Atlanta.
All you motherfuckers from Atlanta, go fuck yourselves. Fucking hot Atlanta. Shut the fuck up.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was not planned at all.
Now we're back. We got it back, guys. We got it back.
So I thought that was pretty cool though, talking to him. He's going around, because he goes, I guess he's well known at shops and different things, and he's been talking to other people about how funny our fucking cast is. So
does he just have an online?
Yeah,
store?
but he also he goes to he used to own a shop.
Right.
But then he had some like a brain tumor situation, so he was having seizures a few years back, so he ended up not having the shop anymore. And I was seeing him getting a new shop possibly. But currently he has a buddy who owns a shop, and he goes there a lot and will bring his stuff in and sell, or he's trying not to laugh.
No, I'm just being me, guys. Come on.
So yeah, he goes there, so people come in to trade and sell with him and stuff, and he has his deal going on. So I was talking to him for a bit though, and it reminded me, because I haven't talked to you guys about it before. Have you guys happen to know the feeling of having a price on your head? You guys ever had a fucking death threat on you?
No.
I had some younger kids. This sounds like I'm getting bullied and shit. It kind of was.
Kind of was.
I never really got bullied in elementary school, except for I wasn't targeted at where I was the one getting bullied constantly. They didn't have
it was just your turn.
It was just my turn basically. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's 4 of them together, and I'm walking by myself at recess or whatever. And I remember one guy where they get on all fours. One of the guys gets on all fours and pushes you over, and you trip. That.
Yeah.
You get that kind of shit, but then it's it doesn't happen again for forever, because I wasn't a big target in that.
Right.
But one time I had some guys call my house and tell me they're gonna fucking kill me. And I was 13. Or no, I wasn't even 13, I was in elementary school, so it was probably 11 or 12, 7th grade or something like that. And they told me they're gonna fucking kill me, and they said something about going outside and looking for the whatever car or something like that. And there's this fucking car that they were just talking about right in front of the house, and I was I had no idea what car that is. I'm what the fuck is going on? I was this is fucking freaky. So I called my parents, I'm what the hell is happening right now? And I remember having, what's that? My parents were right behind me the whole time. And, so anyway, that was one thing where nothing came of it. It was just my classmates or whatever being that was a pretty sick fucking joke though. Yeah. There's better ways to get a laugh out of somebody or whatever. Get a laugh out of your friends. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Okay. I'm 11 years old. This is crazy. Anyways, yeah.
Well, I guess, Greg has a hit on his head from Islam kind of a thing. He wrote some poem about feminism.
Oh, the Greg
from GNA Collectibles. Yeah. And he wrote some poem about feminism and women deserving better kind of thing or whatever. Anyways, a friend of his put it to music and made a song out of it. I guess it started playing on radios over there or some shit. And so he started getting death threats saying, "Oh, we're gonna fucking we're gonna kill you" kind of thing. And his response to them was, "Well, here's my address and how to get here from your fucking wherever else, blah blah blah."
Wow.
And I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You're intense."
Yeah. My fucking 9mm of your ass.
Kind of funny. So I personally have had a price on my head too, for not necessarily me myself, but my family.
This is a depressing cast, by the way.
Well, that was
continue on. Continue.
Yeah, I like it.
It's weird.
I like it.
My uncle is a prison guard in New Jersey, and his wife was one too. But she started fucking some dude who was the LA King. And this and that, and all kinds of shit. So next
the
thing you know,
hockey team?
I know, right? I love those guys.
Mexican gang,
fuck the whole team.
Fuck LA.
Yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers.
So we got a call from the cops back there saying, "Hey, there apparently is a hit on your family out in California too." I'm well, that's fucking intense as shit. We didn't do a goddamn thing besides this bitch being a fucking whore and sucking some dude off in prison. It's oh my god.
I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah. If I had a nickel. Yeah.
So that's just kind of crazy fucking talking about that shit. I wondered if you guys ever had any kind of weird experience of that, because it's kind of strange. This is a couple years ago now, so nothing has occurred from it. But
not yet.
I've never even. I left my car unlocked the past 2 days, and I never even had it broken into. People don't even know I fucking exist.
Yeah,
they have no idea. I've had nothing weird happen to me. I guess that one thing, but that's still pretty small because it was a bunch of fucking other 11-year-olds, but. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that.
I didn't think it'd be a common thing either, but it's just kind of strange. But other than that, my week has gone Okay, pretty cool actually. My cousin decided to use he had some like 5-star points built up at one of the comic shops out here called Villain's Lair, and he used those points to buy me a booster box of Origins, so that was pretty sweet.
I swear to God, you get the most like free cards out of anybody I've ever known.
You get you're like the luckiest guy to pull shit out of pack. You get free stuff. Foil, fucking, what was it? Not Bloodstained Mire or whatever.
Wooded Foothills.
Foil Wooded Foothills, just like given to you. And
that was the other thing. Like when I went out there, he gave me, because he's not playing anymore, so he gave me almost his entire collection, including all his rares and basically all that shit. So I got like an Ugin, a foil Wooded Foothills, fucking
Footed Woodhills is better.
I
like that one.
Footed Woodhills.
Fucking a foil Court of Calling, other Planeswalkers, all kinds of good fucking sweet cards. So I was like, fuck yeah. And then a booster box of Origins, and so he goes, so, did you tell the other guys about it? They're gonna think it's cool. I'm like, yeah, they're fucking jealous as shit. And I started telling them about how lucky I've been in my pulls with the Tarmogoyfs and the Liliana, and you guys getting all jealous. I'm like, yeah, rubbing that shit in.
Thank God I'm not Jersey. I don't have to live every day. Samhain Crow.
Does your cousin listen to the cast?
From time to time. He used to listen when he was playing, so I told him I was gonna give him a shout out.
That's cool. That's cool. Fuck your cousin.
Motherfucker, there's a hit out for you now.
Yeah.
You sucked the wrong dick.
You gotta learn today.
Your whole family.
Learn today.
Your whole family's dead. D-E-D, dead. Your dog dead. Yeah.
So, besides that, the week was pretty, not much else happened besides that. I definitely, did take the time today before coming over to the cast to give my junk a nice shave down, so I'm nice and clean.
Nice.
Smooth balls and junk, so anybody want to check it out?
This is
quality
material for the cast. I like this. This is good. I, probably a couple weeks out right now. Not so
great.
I mean, what's your policy on, like, junk maintenance?
Well, if I'm single, it's like...
Taken care of.
Yeah, it's taken care of. If I'm not single, then it's like... I'm not going to let it get out of control, and I'll take care of it, but I mean, it'll be like when circumstances are right type of thing, not like necessarily like I'm on a schedule. No.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, if you're single, are you like shaving every other day? Because that's like,
you gotta have like,
that's a lot of maintenance.
How about this? Probably every Friday.
There you go.
Every
when
Friday?
you're going on the weekend,
you gotta prep.
And it wasn't PB. PB is like a place where it's hopping every night. Yeah. So if I was out there and I was doing like the 5 days a week fucking thing, then I'd probably do it just
so clean you could eat off of it.
Yeah.
So isn't it by like the next Friday, like it's an angry porcupine in your pants?
It's a porcupine, yeah, absolutely.
I can't do that. Well, I mean,
do you use a full straight razor or do you fucking like clippers?
I use a straight razor with the foam and the little brush, and
put a hot towel.
Hot towel on my dick.
The aftershave.
To protect it. Aftershave. Stinging my balls with the aftershave. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. And I straight razor it. Like, okay. Picture this. So like, you're like, it's like the guy at the shop where like, he's holding the balls up. Like where you tilt your head back and hold the bottom of your chin. Hold it back and bottom. Yeah.
So he's like, get the leather across your leg, wipe that off.
Hold my balls up and get like the gooch to top of the ball. Back and forth, even strokes, nice and smooth, Dab it under some hot water. Talk to it. How's the day going?
Teabag a bowl of fucking shaving cream.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Everyone else uses the brush. Yeah, I use a bowl from my kitchen cabinet.
That you reuse. Give the guests.
You get some cereal in there, and then you're like, all right, just go ahead and spill it up with some foam and just do some teabag in it.
Oh man,
this is exactly why I brought up shaving today, because I wanted this kind of thing to happen.
It's even better if like later that night I start getting late or whatever, and I pull out my pants and there's little tiny like tissue paper marks. Little tiny teepee marks. Yeah, no. The phone went off when I was shaving. Whatever, Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, same with me.
All of that. Yeah.
No, like if I was single,
Same with me.
Oh, God damn it.
All that you said, yeah.
Ipso facto exacto.
Ditto. I've actually got my balls waxed a couple times. I know I've told you guys about it, but it's just that's a whole different level.
The newer listeners are going to be like, what? This is a common thing? This guy is just like nonchalant?
It's not common. It's just nice.
Ball waxing.
That poor Asian lady.
That's how I met my girlfriend.
I went to an Asian.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think
I
I
went to an
said on the
Asian.
cast.
I went to an Asian place, like one of those places to get the waxing, or whatever. And I wasn't going there for that. I was walking by from like bar to bar, but it was like middle of the day. So I'm drinking, and I'm like, I'm gonna see if they could like give me a Brazilian.
There's nothing better than like a day drunk ball wax.
Yeah.
It's just so relaxing.
But I have an agreement with a friend of mine with Peppermint Swirl. Like, if I get my balls waxed, he has to too, and vice versa. Whoever's got the balls to get the balls done, the other person's got to do it. So we were both together at the time, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go see this place will do, male Brazilians basically. And I asked her, and she's like confused. And then she goes like in the back to like ask the manager. And she comes out and she's like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, not a big deal. I was ready to do it though. If she said yes, I'd be like, look at him like, motherfucker, give him $30, dude. Whatever.
That's right, I remember now.
Plus an extra 20.
I was going to pay for you to do it, so I never had to do it also, and you told me the story.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah. Gotta do it. It's a bond among men.
Nope.
Ball bond.
How about you, Ryke? You haven't spoke up on this.
No, I don't even worry about it anymore. I'm married. Fuck it. It's a jungle down there. You gotta get a machete out.
Yeah, it might have been like 2 months I took care of. I was like getting annoyed, but I was like, okay, time to shave.
What was that joke we had?
When you're stepping on your own pubes when you're walking. You're like, alright, it's time
Oh, it
to,
hurts so bad.
time to shave it
we
up
had
a little
we had
bit.
that joke a few casts ago about like dick. It's like covering up the dick, so it's like a little thing in the bushes, and like you kiss, and it can't make it past the hair, so it drips down like water in the moss. You know what I mean? It just
That's what it was.
cascades into the toilet like a drop at a time.
Oh shit.
I mean, if,
That's
whatever.
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's pretty much it.
How was your week, Hot Sauce?
This is boring. So the only thing today we had some. I was a little late to like the cast, or whatever, because we had this lady come over that was like she's like from something closet design or whatever, and so we have like a walk-in closet. It's not like a big walk-in closet, but there's a door in it, so hey, it's a closet with a door. Anyways, we have it. Every closet's the fucking same. It's really annoying that it's just like shelf and then like the bar that goes across it, and that's it. So you have like one place to hang clothes and like this way too tall shelf on top to like put some 3-foot fucking item, and then below you have your shoes, but there's always like a gap of like 3 feet or whatever, 2 feet between like your shoes and like the clothes. So it's like, it's a poor design. Like you could easily make it like a lot better with like certain kinds of shelving, whatever. So me being a boring, homeowner or whatever, this was exciting to me. And so we got this like whole redesign with like this fancy textured wood or whatever, and like we have like, drawers in the closet now with all kinds of cutouts and shelves for like shoes and pants and blah blah blah. They had all these
They actually came in today and did it? I thought you were
No, they came in, as estimate today.
Okay.
Well, they have to like do the measurements and then do the design, and like today they did like a 3D rendering of it, so I was able to see like what exactly would it look like in the color and all that stuff, so I can like, you can grab the mouse and just like kind of spin it around or whatever and see what it's going to look like.
It's the future now.
It's the future, dude. And so yeah, I think it's going to be like 4 weeks from now probably when we actually get it, because like the wait time is like, it just takes a while. Like,
yeah, it's just like any other thing. They send out the estimator, then eventually the crew comes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 1-day project, I know. But one thing that's funny too is like they don't do demo, which I was like,
to get out your shit
which is like not a
yourself.
big deal because it's like only like a bar and like some fucking wood framing against the wall to like hold the bar up.
But it is
it's still
enough
weird.
of a big deal for people who don't have any kind of handyman experience.
Yeah. I was like,
And then people don't know how to get rid of shit like that.
they have like contractors they'll hire for it, and I'm like, I'm gonna pay some dude to remove fucking shelves in my, like 3 shelves from my fucking thing. Like, that's ridiculous. So, perfect. Our host, Mr. Knife City, is now taking a shit. And once he gets out, I'm gonna take a shit. Anyways, we got this design done, whatever. It looks all cool, and like I said, it's got like the shelves and the fucking drawers and blah blah blah. They have like all kinds of shit you can do. They have like example pictures of like, really high-end Michael Jordan fucking homes, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, walk in with all these lighting, accent lights going here and there, and like, all the shoes are like at an angle, you know what I mean? Like what it look like at a goddamn department store. And some of them have like fucking
a sauna in there.
Yeah, you can seriously. They had like some of them had like sinks and shit like that in it, and all kinds of like weird it was
crazy.
fucking ridiculous. And like they have like abundant room for like shelves. So they have like little flower placement here and little photos and all this stuff because the closets are so goddamn big. Anyways, they had all kinds of ridiculous shit. We were not interested in that. The only thing the price got, like, it's fucking pricey to have this shit happen. So the only thing we wanted to get is that they had these wall mounted like laundry baskets that were like, they would like mount at like 3 feet or something like that, and they'd have like a wire frame around it, and then you'd be able to like pull it away from the wall, like under, like you'd have like the drawers above it, you pull away from the wall, dump your shit in, and then once you want to do laundry, like the thing like it kind of like a tote bag, it has like 2 arms on it, and like the arms will close to like a handle, and you pick it up and you go ahead and just drop it off, and then you put the fucking thing back in it. It's like a really cool design, but like we already hit our budget. We were like, alright, everything here seems great, but like, holy fuck, I'm not paying like, it could have been like a $2,500 closet basically, and I'm like, we're not spending $2,500. It's actually a gift for my mom, but I mean, still, like, we're not gonna make her spend some ridiculous amount of money. It's just that anytime you have something like this happen, like it just changes a lot of shit to have like proper space for things. You know, you get like your garage redone with like cabinets on the wall above your workbench. It's fucking dope. Like garages without that shit are just like, they're just like boxes on the ground. And then you get the system going, you're like, oh, this is fucking awesome. So anyways, that happened. What do we do? I'm trying to think. We recorded some Tiny Leaders videos, me and Knife City. So we did like the Shu Yun deck versus his Mariki Mill deck.
Can we just officially name her the French cunt? Like, am I pushing that too hard? She's a goddamn French cunt.
She's a cunt. No, you're right. She steals your shit like a succubus.
There you go.
Steals you away and kills you. So yeah, we did that. So go check that out. If Lance Could Kill, our YouTube channel. I think that got posted on like the 21st of July, basically. So yeah, check it out. Other than that, I'm trying to think of like other shit. Oh, I watched this show. This show called, it's called The Jinx. And it's like a documentary, but it wasn't under like the documentary folder in the HBO Go. It's actually under like the show miniseries folder, which I thought was weird. I'm looking for it.
See, I knew you made the comment The Jinx before. I was like, I knew I'd heard of that. Yeah. But I also have HBO, so I know like, I don't watch them actually weekly. I just go through and watch the replay or the on-demand version.
Right.
So I knew I'd seen that. So yeah. I mean, go ahead.
So it's not a show. I mean, it's kind of a show, but I mean, it's because it has like different like, I don't know, the reenactments are not like,
cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, they're not like cheesy, and they don't really like, they don't show any faces or nothing like that. They're just kind of like there to display, and they're pretty well done. And anyways, it's about this guy that, his wife went missing in like 82, and he didn't like, the prosecution, like all that shit like kind of failed on him, whatever. They thought it was him, but like they had no like proof, whatever. And then like, in like 1990 or 91 or something like that, I think it was. Maybe it was later than that. Maybe it was like 2000. I don't know. Some other time later, his neighbor ends up getting like chopped up into pieces and thrown in a fucking river or whatever, or thrown in like the lake or ocean or some body of fucking water. I don't know. Anyways, so that happens, and then like they end up finding out that like he did it, but it came down to like, you know, the way that the trial was done, they were looking for one thing, and they weren't allowed to like bring in like other sections of the other part of the event into it, and so like he ended up like, you know, getting away with it and all. Anyway, this whole thing spirals into like other murders and all this other shit going on. It's a 6-part miniseries, and like it's pretty slow but well done. And you kind of like almost like the guy or something, like there's something about him that's like not so corrupt or whatever. He seems like a simple man and whatever.
Charismatic.
I also didn't mention that he was the son of like one of the richest people in America. So he's like some like fucking, he owns like 5 of the tallest buildings in like New York City or some shit like that, you know what I mean? Or some of the tallest. So the guy's like a fucking billionaire basically. And, anyways, it goes on, and then the final episode has like a good payout. That's why I bring it up, because otherwise, I mean, like, yeah, it's a good show if you're into like forensic type stuff and murder mystery stuff. I recommend it already, but because the last episode has such like a good payout, I was like, okay, this was fucking awesome. That last episode was really good.
I don't want to spoil anything, but is this the one where the guy, he's like in the bathroom talking to himself?
Yeah, you totally spoiled it, absolutely.
Well, everyone knows this already. If they've heard it on the news.
Right. It's on the news for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, that's the story. But it has all these kinds of things. But this documentary is the one that filmed what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That happened because of this, not any other reason. So basically the documentary had a part into like the murder investigation, which is kind of like, it's really I think it's unheard of.
Yeah.
Those things usually just like tell a story and then that's the end of it. But this one was like, so like with the times and with the investigation, they were in contact with the police for like 2 fucking years and they like helped out, and it was like nothing would have happened without them. It was pretty cool. So that's what the payout is.
Interesting.
So unfortunately, yes, you said something like.
Well,
that.
if anyone knows,
but they don't.
the news, they already know.
I didn't know, so.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly either. So you're not giving it.
I'm not giving
too
it
much.
away. You'd have to be in the know already to figure out what I'm
But
talking about.
I had no idea about the bathroom thing at all. I didn't hear anything about this thing, so that's pretty much it, though. So that's my time, and look who's back! Hey, what up, bro?
Woo!
How was the
That
dookie?
was a good poop, dude. That was, it was nice. It was nice. Well, just speaking of poop, am I right? Am I right? We're going to talk about the most recent SCG event. What is it? Star City Open Standard Chicago.
Chicago's. Is
Some
it right here?
players.
No, that's not it right there. You gotta go back, huh?
Yes, you need to.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, Chicago.
Well, we had one of the
Murder
deck-
capital of the world.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't want to
We
go
love
there.
you,
Probably,
Chicago.
probably Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Maybe
actually,
Atlanta.
really bad.
Maybe Atlanta. Fuck Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Oh,
Bunch
harsh.
of murder. What is this, ATL? The asshole of fucking the United States.
Yeah, the armpit for sure. Alright, so we had,
Horrible.
the list, okay, so we had some new decks, and that's what I want to talk about. But the top 8 is like pretty standard affair, where it's like Green Red Devotion first. Second was Blue White Heroic. That's like kind of new, I think. There's like a couple additions to it.
Blue White Heroic is new.
Oh no, not Blue White Heroic. I'm thinking of a different one. Never mind. I'm thinking of the control one.
Like Logan Myers played Blue White Heroic, and there's no fucking
you're right,
cards
you're
at all. It's all cards on there.
No, you're right. I'm thinking of the Blue White control one.
Yeah.
That
Blue
one.
White Artifact Control.
Yeah.
And
So-
Jeff Hoogland with the big head.
Yeah. So he that was second place, third place, and fourth
Fucker's
place.
got a goofy head.
He does.
I mean, I got a big head.
That
but-
hairline, bro.
Yeah. Let's do something about that.
Third and fourth were Green Red Devotion again, then Jeskai Tokens, then Absent Control, then Mardu Midrange, and
blah, blah, blah.
and then Blue White Control, 5-head Hoogland. That's what we call
The
him.
Peyton Manning of Magic.
Yeah. So Mr. 5-head had like an artifact theme to go back against his Blue White Control.
He's the one who's
thing.
at fault for making Hangerback Walker be $8 now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's kind of cool though when you like have an idea and then all of a sudden because of you and your design, like a card like triples in price or whatever. That's pretty badass. So the honorable mentions though was a 5-color rally deck.
That was just insane.
Yeah. Matthew Tickle. I'm gonna say
That's how they pronounce it.
that's hilarious. Matthew Tickle.
Tickle.
It was like. Obviously, it's 5 colors, and it's kind of like what we've seen a little bit with like the rally decks. Like the rallies were like, you ever see this deck before?
The rallies a little bit, but not really like how this thing is going. I mean,
Right.
This thing is pretty intense. It's all about dumping everything you got into your graveyard.
Dumping like really fucking fast. Like what was it? Gather the Pack was like that one that I think it does 5 cards, and then you can put a creature card into your hand, kind of like the other ones, the Commune with the Gods and Seder Wayfinder style. You know what I mean?
So what the deck focuses, centerpiece is Rally the Ancestors, correct?
Yeah, right.
Why don't you go ahead and read the card, because I forget what it is.
It's X and white for an instant. Return each creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile those cards at the beginning of your next upkeep. Exile or Rally the Ancestors. You only use it once. So the thing is with this card, when you first see it, you're like, well, they don't gain haste.
It's been like the biggest joke of that set.
Yeah, you're like, at the beginning of the upkeep, so I can't do it on my opponent's end step to get creatures back and then attack it on my turn, like they're gone.
Yeah.
So you have to bring it on your main phase, your first main phase before attacks, and you're like, well, what the fuck do I do then? So you get around that is what you fucking do. You play shit like...
Nantuko Husk is the main fucking engine.
That's a really good engine, yeah. So there's Mogus's Marauder, which everything, when it enters the battlefield, up to X target creatures, gain Intimidate and Haste. So if these things are in the graveyard, you just count up your black mana of what's coming in, your devotion count, and then you can just pick all of those cards to go ahead and get Haste and just swing in that way. So you give yourself Haste.
And Haste and Intimidate, correct?
Haste and Intimidate, yes, exactly. And there's all kinds of different colored shit in here, so like you're gonna get in with something. Otherwise, he's talking about that Nantuko Husk. It's a 2/2 for 3, like a common, like a fucking penny common, this thing. Sacrifice a creature, it gets +2/+2 till end of turn. So you keep this on the board. You don't want it in your graveyard.
Yeah.
You keep it in the board, and then when you rally, instead of everything getting exiled, you sacrifice it with this. And so it goes back in your graveyard to be rallied again. So like if you didn't swing in with haste and all that shit the first time, by bringing all your shit back from the graveyard. Then you get to make this guy gigantic if you really need be. I guess if you couldn't get in some other way or something like that, you can sacrifice everything and make it gigantic. Maybe like creatures that are blocked that are like nothing's going to happen with. Well, after you attack, then you're like, all right, well, fuck it, it's blocked and whatever. I'm just going to go and sack it, pump him up, and then this guy will trade with a different creature, whatever. But yeah, then you get to rally again. And the rallies, when you use it, they exile them, but like say if you mill them, whatever, you have 2 Den Protectors to get back a card from your graveyard. And then you also have 4 of the new Jace Planeswalker, which is, oh my god, it's up to $25 now.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's gone up like $8 in the last day.
Wow, I thought it was like $15 still. Holy shit. So yeah, it's seeing like a lot of play in a lot of decks.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
You know, maybe not tier 1, but like, or I guess it's pretty much tier 1, but.
Yeah, they're not focusing on the +1 or the ultimate. It's just being able to loot in flashback is so fucking powerful.
Exactly. So you play 4 of these, you're getting shit, draw a card, discard a card, you're getting all your big creatures in the graveyard. With him, that's like super easy. It's really easy to flip because it's a graveyard strategy deck. When he flips, then yeah, you're able to, what is it, you get to, is it just rebound? No, what is
flashback.
it? Flashback. Yeah, it's flashback. You just pay that, whatever that thing's mana cost is, again, and then it just happens, and so
yeah, it was fun. It was my first time when I watched a game of this happen. It was my first time so far seeing a flipped Planeswalker being a Planeswalker on the field and its non-flipped legendary creature wasn't on the field.
They have that, and yeah,
it's interesting.
Exactly.
It's not the same card at that point.
Yeah, it's a legendary creature and then just a Planeswalker, and you have that for like a backup or whatever, and you can still loot while you're doing the abilities, and that thing dies, like whatever, it can flip whenever, and then you just do it, and yeah, it's fucking awesome. So, they have that, and the strategy is pretty sick. Also, they had Grim Haruspex, whatever, this one that's like it's a rare, but it's a 10-cent rare, you know, it's like no big deal.
Like an intro pack rare.
Intro pack rare.
Like every piece of shit card that was not playable and made it playable for this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes back, whatever, it counts as the Black Devotion, so like, it's gonna be able to trigger to give one of your biggest things haste and intimidate. And besides that, when you start sacrificing your creatures after the attack with the husk or whatever, then every time a non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card. So like the rally, once you get the first rally off, it becomes this big combo of like drawing a lot of cards, getting the ability to use the rally again, and keeping your creatures in the graveyard. And so like once you get a little bit in there and you use the first rally, the combo like just keeps going and going and going.
They said that
seems pretty big.
They talked about like one of the biggest things he has to watch out for is milling himself. Like he actually on camera at one point milled himself for a loss because of how many cards he accidentally drew.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, exactly. You have to like watch out what cards you're drawing, even using Jace's ability or whatever else. It's pretty ridiculous. Deathness Raptor's in there because of value, because of Den Protector. You know, like why the fuck not? That's a great creature, like to give Intimidate, or if you don't have to give Intimidate, it's just going to be a death, something that has to be blocked, or it does 3 damage. So it just comes back for like fucking ever. So besides that, like Satyr Wayfinder to get things started, Caryatid to help because it's like so many colors, and then one Liliana Heretic Healer is in here also. Lifelink 2/3 Planeswalker that when it flips, it brings out a zombie, and then you discard a card, and then you can bring shit back.
Everybody discards a card.
Yeah, and then
minus X, bring a creature from a graveyard back with the converted mana cost of X.
Right.
And the ultimate is whenever a creature dies, you bring it back on the battlefield under your control.
Yeah. So then you have. So I don't know like the big value of this card necessarily. I mean, like it's a good. It's double devotion, Black Devotion.
Flip too.
It's easy to flip. Yeah, it's definitely easy to flip because you're gonna like
sacrifice your
own shit. It's definitely gonna flip. So I guess it is just like a good. You can bring a. Rally can bring back a Planeswalker, basically, which is not supposed to. That's kind of cool. So, that was pretty much the list, though. It got, it just says 33rd to 64th place. So, it did well.
Day 1, it was 9-1.
9-1 day 1. That's why it was.
And then day 2, it lost like 4 straight, and all of a sudden it wasn't in contention anymore.
Yeah, it was like, the day 1, though, it was like the most talked about deck.
Yeah.
Because it was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this thing is like, it comes out of nowhere just to win on the spot, and then it went 8-0 or something like that, and then it went, 9-1.
Yeah, and then like 9-5 when he's out of it.
Yeah. So we have that, and then the other one I wanted to talk about, which people may hate, I don't know, is Turbo Fog deck.
Boo!
I know.
Fuck Turbo Fog.
This deck's been around for
I still think it's
ever.
fucking interesting, though.
It is interesting. No, what's Patrick Sullivan, right? Is that his name? The guy from Basic Mountain, whatever.
The white guy?
Yeah, the white guy, yeah.
The other guy.
What is it? What do you say? Like,
not Cedric.
Steady P and the white guy.
Steady P and the white guy, yeah. So, not Steady P was talking about how this is like awesome, But if he sees it around for too long, he's gonna be fucking mad. Like, I think the same thing. Like, seeing it the first time in, like, new standard or whatever, like, holy shit, it's like a fucking contender. It did really well or whatever. Not, like, top anything, but I mean, still just did some work, whatever. And it'll be great watching it for the next, like, 3 weeks, and after that, it's like, okay, I'm fucking tired of watching the worst control matchup ever.
Like, my personal comparison is like Amulet Bloom, like you guys were all talking about.
Amulet Bloom, exactly, yep.
When I first watched it, I was like, wow, this is fucking incredible because there's just so many interaction things going on.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool to watch.
It's like,
now it's on, it's like I really don't want to watch it now because who cares? Because they're trying to get, they're trying to tell it's the same thing, whatever. So, like, this is going to be the same thing with this deck. It's just going to be interesting to watch for a minute, and then all of a sudden it's going to be just annoying.
Yeah, knowing that it exists is, like, entertaining, but you don't want to, like, see it on coverage. Like, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, you don't. The first time, though, was exciting, and then, anytime after that, you're like...
see, like, a handful of times compared to all the fucking Abzan and fucking mirror matches and all the whatever shit they show nonstop.
There's a lot of these decks that we think about like that. Like, same thing with, like, Burn. Like, do you want to see Burn all day? Do you want to see, like, Control versus Control all day? There's a lot of Magic decks that are, like, very powerful, utilizing certain things that just, like, are fucking boring or solitaire or just whatever.
Seeing this kind of thing on camera or the fucking 5-color rally, the homebrew is what we really want to fucking watch.
Yeah, this is new.
We know all the fucking
I want to see Green Red Devotion all the time.
I know. You will. Don't worry, you will.
Yeah.
Shit's not going anywhere for a while. So this deck, it's a little interesting in the way it wins, which is through mill. It has a 1-win condition. You just mill. Yeah. There are no creatures.
You know what? This deck gives mill a bad name.
But it wins games. But it wins
But
games.
mill isn't supposed to win. It's just supposed to annoy people.
This is annoying them and kicking them out of the top seed. You're like, oh, this is fucked.
No, this is horrible.
So it plays, it's a green-blue deck that plays 8 fog effects, which a fog effect is like usually under green mana, and then green or white, I think, is probably all the fog effects. Prevent all combat damage this turn type shit. So just like your opponent's building up whatever board he fucking wants to, and you don't care because all you do is every turn play that in response to his attack, and then everything just happens. All those creatures are tapped, and you go about your business. So you just buy yourself some time with these things, and then you get out Sphinx's Tutelage. It's a 3-mana enchantment where, whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share the same color, then share a color, repeat this process. So they're not legendary enchantments. So you can have multiple out. You play 4 of them in the deck. When you have this out, every time you draw a card, they mill, and then they might have the chance of milling again. Like, sometimes if they just get lucky, you can mill like 8 cards off of one trigger. So you have that along with all the card draw abilities, including Monastery Siege, which is like, it's one of those like choose one enchantments where like you can either draw an additional card and then discard a card each turn, or you can have like spells your opponent's cast, target you or permanent you control costs 2 more to cast. So you choose for the top one. Yeah, you choose the top one. You draw an extra card, which gets an extra trigger off of Sphinx's Tutelage. And once again, you can stack these up. You can stack up Dictator Crewfix, which is 3-mana enchantment, just kind of like the same, where at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player draws an additional card. So like you both get the advantage, but you don't care how much they draw because you're not worried about what they're doing. Like they could have 70 creatures on the board and be able to swing in any time and win on the spot, but you're not going to let them because you're fogging each time. So,
and also with the milling, mathematically, anywhere between 1 and 3 cards is usually where you get before you hit a land in your deck.
Right.
And so, like, I guess 2's like middle ground, so it's like not too unreliable to hit 2 non-land cards and go again.
So like you're either hitting 2 or 4 each turn.
Right.
You're milling 2 or 4 for each card you draw, which is like, there's a lot of mill cards like Knife Blaze that like, it's, one spell does like 7 cards. Well, this is like a 3-mana enchantment that will like just sit there and just mill forever. So anything that sits there and mills forever is pretty damn good. Even like stupid like Grind Clock and whatever, or Millstone or whatever. Those are like not good cards necessarily, but like they're considered powerful and they only mill a little bit. You know what I mean?
And you have to pump mana into them. You don't have to pump mana into this.
And
it just sits there.
Yeah, and you have to tap it. You have to like only do it once per turn type thing. This just goes off whenever.
You don't pump mana in a Grind Clock. You just have to tap it a couple times.
Either way, you still only have to tap it to activate it or mill. You can't do both, which is like slow,
Yeah.
This is not slow. Then you have, let's see here.
Alhammer's Archive.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 5 mana legendary artifact from the new set. If you gain life, you gain twice that much life. Okay, whatever. If you draw a card, you draw, or after the first one you draw each turn, you draw 2 cards instead. So, every time he draws from Dictate or Monastery Siege or his 4 treasure cruises, because everything instants, so his fucking graveyard is always stacked of shit, then it just, basically you just draw on like 4 or 5 cards a turn, it seems like, or at least 3 cards a turn, which causes 3 triggers per tutelage, which means you're milling 6 cards minimum, which realistically, I mean, once you get 2 per thing, whatever, anyways, you're milling like 12 a fucking turn, and they basically, once you have the thing set up, it gives them like 3 or 4 turns, and then they fucking lose.
So explain to us, some people are not understanding why Days Undoing is on here.
Yeah, so
and I didn't really quite understand either until, because everybody was talking about like how stupid it was, like, why would you get their whole graveyard and library back in the library and trying to mill them? And then you came out and then told me a very good explanation of why Days Undoing is actually
I'll try and give a good explanation. So Days Undoing is this new, it's pretty expensive right now too. It's like, what, that's 10 to $14 basically. It's 3 mana, 2 and a blue, sorcery mythic. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. If it's your turn, end the turn. So the first thing to get out of the way is you're thinking like, okay, if you have all this combo tutelage bullshit on the board, that when they draw the 7 cards, or you draw 7 cards, it has 7 triggers. First of all, no it doesn't, because it ends the turn. The card says it does. So no more triggers go on the stack or none of that shit. Once you play this, you draw the fucking cards and your turn's over. And you're thinking probably like, the main thing is also like, their graveyard goes back in their fucking library. What the hell? It's backwards. You know, like you don't want that. You want this to keep everything in the graveyard. That's like the worst fear for like Knife is like getting shit back in.
Elixir of Immortality.
Exactly.
What?
Well,
Gaya's Blessing.
With this, you only use it if you're out of draw spells, or you're out of, more importantly, you're out of fog effects. You only have 8 fog effects plus 3 Aether Spout, so I guess like 11. If you're out, you have to play this to reset everything, and those 7 cards better have a fog effect in it. If they do, and you still had it doesn't put like permanents back in the library, nothing, so you still have like your 2 tutelages out, and your 1, whatever, Monastery Siege. Once you start your turn again, they get to, they go ahead and take their turn or whatever, you go ahead and fog. So you have to have like 3 mana for Days Undoing and 2 for like a fog effect, because all those are 2 mana. They attack, okay, you fog it or whatever. Now on your next turn, even though they have a full library, because you have a full hand and you have like a fucking treasure cruise and all the triggers from Monastery Siege or Dictated Crucifix, whatever, you're gonna go ahead and mill them for fucking, let's just say 20 or something that turn. So yeah, they reset or whatever, and you could have won that last turn or whatever. Well, you didn't have a fog effect, so you know you weren't going to win, you got to play this. You mill them for 20 because all the triggers go off from drawing all the cards. Then because you drew those cards, you drew into more draw cards and more fog effects. So once you use Days Undoing once, your hand is stacked again, just like it's the beginning of the game. And so you're able to basically seal their fate, because there's no way to get around you drawing extra fog effects and extra card draw effects.
And also,
so
they have treasure cruise in here, correct?
4 treasure cruise.
4 treasure cruise. All right, so the game's going along, and like you said, you're out of fog spells.
Yeah.
And by this point, hopefully, you've used a treasure cruise or 2. So what you can do is just exile all the lands out of your graveyard. So when you shuffle your graveyard back into your library, there's a much greater chance that when you draw those 7 cards, there's going to be less lands and more fog spells.
When you're delving with treasure cruise,
you delve away all the lands.
Yeah, you basically, no matter what, you never delve away your fog effects. Yeah. And then everything else is fair game. Yeah. Just never delve away your fog effects, no matter what. Even if, like, you had the mana that turn to get a sweet treasure cruise off, you just can't use those effects. You can use everything else, though.
My only rebuttal to your comment about delving away the lands is he's not milling himself, and he's not playing, it doesn't look like he's actually playing any fetch lands. So what is he delving away?
So he's drawing so many fucking cards that he's going to have 10 cards.
You can delve away other Days Undoings, other Dictate, whatever, negates. You can just get rid of everything that isn't those 8 cards.
I understand that. Okay. I was just kind of throwing the point just to have him explain more about how there's going to be lands in the graveyard.
So the way to get lands in the graveyard is all he's doing is draw spells and fogs. Mm-hmm. So he's not like casting that many permanents. Mm-hmm. So when he's drawing those cards, he's gonna have to discard at the end of his turn.
Well, that and then Monastery Siege makes you draw and discard each turn.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So hopefully you're just getting rid of those lands, because at that point you already have enough lands to be able to, fog to, once a turn and then do something else or whatever.
So under this strategy, now that if you have any more kind of like questions and you're not really quite getting it, whatever, there's going to be the list online, and there's going to be, I know there's like forums and shit talking about this shit right now. I mean, it's a hard deck to get your head around because of Days Undoing, so there's shit online to get more details about it. But there's 2 cards that fuck this deck up. One of them's Ugin, because you use minus, you destroy all permanents, so that means you destroy everything this guy's worked for, which is the tutelages and the sieges and the dictative crew fix. That card fucks you up. So you run 3 negate. Mm-hmm. And you don't use them unless they're trying to destroy your fucking enchantments. Otherwise, it's like, if they have some kind of like burn spell, whatever, you're like, that's fine. Just whatever, as long as I'm going to 0, go ahead and do whatever damage you want to me. Whatever you got to do, I don't care, but don't let them kill your enchantments. The other card is...
Much cheaper.
What's that?
Much cheaper.
What?
Converted mana cost?
No. Well, maybe you have another idea. What's your idea?
Nature?
Back to Nature, yeah, but I don't know who's playing that, but you're right. Back to Nature would be pretty serious. So run negates for that too. Back to Nature is pretty big. The other one I was thinking of is it's the green-white mythic dragon that came on this last set. One with lifelink, it's like a 5/7.
What does it say? Damage can't be prevented?
No. It says opponents can't cast spells on your opponent's turn.
Ah.
Which means you can't cast your
not on your opponent's turn, on your turn.
On your turn, yeah.
Cast spells on your turn.
Yeah, so if they play this dragon, it's a 5/7 with lifelink. Okay, fine, Nick, it does a lot of damage, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Problem is, you can't cast your fucking fog effect, which means you just lose that turn. Like, once they cast that, you're like, well, I just lost. Like, I have no more prevention. There's nothing you can do about it.
So
that fucking sucks.
What's in the sideboard to deal with that?
There's 3 Aether Spouts that are in the main deck. There's a 4th one in that. So like,
Well, I mean,
even
that's,
you're right. No, you're right.
So is it like,
So there's 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Clash of Wills, 1 Dissolve, and, I think that's
Talon of the Telepath is a card I'm interested in, especially for mill kind of decks. Can you read that one off real quick?
Yeah. There's 5 counter spells in the deck. If it comes down to that, I'm sure they're going to throw everything in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess, maybe take out I guess they'd probably take out like 2 Aether Spouts or something like that. So this guy that he's talking about, Talent of the Telepath, 4 mana sorcery. Target opponent reveals the top 7 cards of his or her library. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from among them without paying the mana cost. Then that player puts the rest into his or her graveyard. Spell Mastery, if you have 2 or more instant sorceries in your graveyard, you may choose 2, basically. So, what is this up against?
No, just in general talking about the card. Because this card I find interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, you get to, I don't really know what it's like for, though. What do you guys think?
Is it a sorcery?
It's a sorcery. So you get to steal like one of their things, one of their instants or sorceries. So I'm curious, like, if
it also has the mill 7 effect.
Totally. So you're milling 7 for 4, which is great because you get to cast one of those things and it goes in their graveyard anyways. Like, so that's already
maybe you find a kill spell for something that you are worried about them getting through if you don't have the fog or
could be something like that. Yeah, maybe like a board wipe.
Maybe a draw card effect.
Yeah, maybe you're playing against
maybe dig through time.
What's that? Maybe you're playing control. If there's like a card draw effect, that'd be really sweet, like a Jace's Ingenuity or something like that. Like you said, dig through time. So I guess against control, this would be pretty good because it's tons of instants of sorceries. I guess against that counter note, if you're playing that and you're not going to be using a board wipe because there's nothing to board wipe because you're playing control. I was thinking that'd be like a good hit, but it's like, well, if you're playing a board wipe, you're probably not playing a lot of creatures, so like it doesn't interact with itself. So I guess you're only looking for card draw. What other thing? Or maybe what about Thoughtseize would be good too.
But you're saying that I think he actually made a comment about Thoughtseize. Doesn't he have Thoughtseize in here or no?
No.
I think he made a comment about Thoughtseize in his deck tech. But when you're saying like control wouldn't have board wipes, well, control would have board wipes.
No. What are you wiping out? There's no creatures.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I mean. So I was thinking like, it'd be sweet if like you kept fogging them and it's like, you can play this to steal their board wiper, but it's like, but they don't play, they're not the same deck. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird. I guess if they had if you're playing against that new Hooglin deck where they have all the artifacts and they have board wipes also in that, then you can do that, but that's an oddball. So, I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. The idea that your only way to win is, through mill and no creatures, and the way you mill them is by drawing cards. It's like it's a weird ass deck.
And the fact that it was doing, we obviously didn't end well day 2, but day 1, it just raped the field.
Yeah,
it did number 1 deck after day 1.
Yeah, there's tons of shit where they're just, I think it was one of the red-green players or whatever. He just, has his deck, and he has all his cards, he has all these fucking creatures out, he has, probably 35 power stringing across the board, and he's, playing shit, but he knows, what he's doing is irrelevant. He can he can just hold cards in his hand and just sit there and do nothing because he's alright, I already got 30 power on board. I have no interaction. If he doesn't have a combat, prevent combat damage, then I win. If he doesn't, I don't. He can just, as long as he has 20 damage on the board, he should just sit there and not even play. He should just alright, pass the turn. Okay, pass the turn. Okay, attack, pass the turn. Okay, attack, pass the turn. Just keep doing that. There's no more reason to play Magic, basically. It's kind of strange, but it is true. If you get in once, you win, so just keep trying. And on the other effect of that, though, he was doing that kind of nonchalant, and then Aether Spouts. Yeah. And he didn't know he had Aether Spouts. So it was oh, fuck me.
God damn it.
All his manifest creatures run away, and all this shit, he's oh my god, this fucking guy. So, I'm sure it's just pissed him off,
Salty.
I just want to put it out there, Wild Slash is ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage can't be prevented this turn. So it might be a good sideboard card.
I did hear about that with this thing. Yeah. I didn't get that. Someone said that it was I heard it somewhere, I don't know where, that this was a big card for it, and I'm I don't really know what that means. And I'm oh, now you say that.
So they go to Fog, and you're Wild Slash.
Yep.
So
that's dope.
That's
you're right,
silly.
that's dope.
Silly.
So I guess Wild Slash has a new thing. If this kicks off, then it has a whole new thing, right?
This will just be a flash in the pan, flavor of the week sort of deck.
Yeah, I think so too. But it'll be out there more. People want to play this kind of thing.
I'm glad it did it see actual coverage or did people
it saw coverage.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it saw coverage. Because like we said last week or the week before or fucking whenever, we don't want to see the same crappy decks over and over again. And obviously the set just came out, so they're more willing to show the new spicy brews, right after the new set came out.
To show off the newer cards.
Yeah, exactly. But then after a while, they just should start showing the same old crap.
Green Red Devotion coming right at you.
So I'm actually interested in the Mardu mid-range deck, because we haven't seen too much out of Mardu lately.
Bust it out, man.
Has been, over the last month or so, it has also been making a name for itself.
I think it's dope. I think as a all-around deck, kind of compare it to maybe a green-red monsters deck of Yor or something like that. It seems just an all-around awesome way to just fucking beat down or whatever. It's a rad deck. I think it's really cool.
So, of course, we got the Goblin Rabble Masters, we got the Kolagon, the Storm's Fury, Seekers.
How many of those are there? The Storm's Fury?
Two,
okay.
And then we got a full playset of Grandmasters, Stormbreath Dragons, and Thunderbreak Regents. And those are, obviously if you're going to play...
Dude, Thunderbreak's going nowhere. I'll say that much.
Yeah, he is. He's sticking around. Then just some good old-fashioned removal, Crackling Doom, Draconic War, Kolagon's Command, Murderous Cut, Thoughtseize, Ultimate Price. It just looks like value, kill, attack.
I guess it's kind of like Abzan, too, where you just get the best thing in your colors and just have this all-around wide strategy.
It's it reminds me
of
the
early days of Abzan, not the new Abzan control stuff.
It has a Rakdos style to me, where it's just just worried about coming at your face.
I'm coming to fuck your face.
Yeah. So, it looks cool.
I think it's pretty dope.
I'm not about to plop down some money for the Thunderbreak Regents.
They're not that much, actually. No, they're lower right now.
Really?
Honestly, they're like you said, they're not going anywhere. Now,
$5.
Yeah, now it's time to buy the playset because it's not going to go away. This is going to be a card throughout the whole standard, I think.
Those full art promos are dope as shit looking.
Fuck yeah.
And I think they're $9 now.
Are they down? Okay, sweet. Because I've been waiting for them to drop that much more, hopefully, because you're right. Those fucking full art for those are so fucking sweet.
I want to pick up at least one, just for throwing a commander deck or something like that. I don't really want to play. It's more like a Ryke thing. I'm not trying to impede on his space of dragons, but I think it's just a sweet looking card. And when we were talking about it in the previous cast, I was like, this card is fucking amazing. A 4-mana dragon. What the fuck? That's too good. That just it will do 3 damage to you. It will. That's fucking
very least.
That's rad. So.
Is there any other decks you guys want to talk about from the tournament?
No, those were the fun brews.
Are there any cards you guys have seen or are curious with? Any cards that excite you?
Hangerback. Actually, we should talk about the Jeff Hoogland list real quick because that is something that's going to be sticking around, I think. But he had a blue-white artifact control deck. And he did quite well. And
So,
Knife has the list here.
There's this card in there, the Thopter Spy Network.
Right.
It's kind of like Bitter Blossom. And it's better and worse. It's better because of two reasons, that it draws you cards, and it doesn't do 1 damage to you. You don't lose 1 life each turn. So, like, already there, if I was just telling you that, like, hey, you get to make a free 1/1 flyer every turn. When it does combat damage, you draw a card, and,
when
whatever.
any artifact does combat
Any
damage.
artifact, you're right. Any artifact. And you're like, wow, that's fucking amazing. And you're like, oh, it's 4 mana. You're like, oh, okay, maybe that's kind of rough, but.
And the only way you can put a 1/1 Thopter is if you already control an artifact.
Yeah, so you have to play the land.
Correct.
Artifact land. What's that called?
Darksteel Citadel.
Darksteel Citadel.
Yes.
You play set of those because you got to have that out.
He actually only plays 3
I think he plays 3 either way.
because he wants enough color, but, I mean...
I'd probably play 4.
And he plays only creatures, he has 4 Hangerback Walkers, which he is the reason why this card's gone from $2 to like $8 overnight.
It's, what is it? XX mana cost. And it comes out as whatever X is, so you pay 6, it comes out as a 3/3. And then when it dies, you bring out as many 1/1 Thopter creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield, as many counters as it. And then also, kind of like Outlast, but better. You're able to pay 1 mana and tap it to put a counter on them, but it's better because it doesn't have sorcery speed bullshit attached to it. It's like you just do it on the, you like hold your, it's like perfect, it actually falls really well with control because you can like hang back with your counters. Oh, didn't need to use a counter? Cool, I'm gonna go and put a counter on this thing. I just made myself a Thopter, you know what I mean? I can make a 1/1 right here.
And when I watched him play, he almost always just paid 2 to play it on the field.
Yeah, and then they just countered it up. Countered it up until he's like, alright, I'm getting a little weak on shit, I need to go and chump block now. And he does the chump block, and then it makes 3 things, and he's like, alright, fuck it. I just got major value off this thing.
And the top of his deck is 3 Elspeths and 1 Ugin. So, I mean, those are some good...
Standard Planeswalker pack.
Elspeth ain't dead yet.
No? I mean, technically she is.
She's dead.
Yeah.
She's super dead, though.
She's dead.
But she ain't dead yet.
But the card's not dead.
Rest in peace. Never forget.
Fuck her.
She's coming back. Athreos has a plan.
Oh, very good.
Her and Xenagos can be coming back.
She's gonna have a new dead Planeswalker thing. She's gonna be like white black.
Ooh. Bum,
dead.
bum, 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 bum.
Orzhov's coming back.
Already seen it.
I really hope so. So that Thopter Spy Network is dope. And then what other shit is there? There's Ornithopters in there or no? No, huh? It's not.
No.
It's none of those. It's just so the token generation is just from that card
Charging Badgers?
and that creature. And then is there any other?
There's no other...
So everything else is just standard counter and removal package, right?
Yep.
It's
That's
funny to
pretty
see
shit.
him play One Last Breath.
Yeah.
That's that for, the one in white from, was that Journey? No,
Is that power 2 or toughness 2?
Power 2.
Power 2. So what are we thinking about here? What's like a big problem?
Rabblemaster?
Yeah.
You know what I would think also? Den Protector.
Den Protector.
The Den Protector is a pretty hard, punishing thing. I know it's 3 mana or 3 power when it's flipped, but say they bring it out as a morph.
Yeah.
If like once it's on the field, you're like, oh, I gotta kill a thing like right now. Like they cannot get a card back. If they get card advantage, like I can lose.
Yeah, I think it's the exiling that really... what he's looking for.
Yeah, I think so too. So it'd probably be like a lot of morph creatures would probably be a big thing for it. And it exiles it, so that's good. Yeah, it's probably that. That's probably what it is. Probably Den Protector. Well, I guess whatever, 2. I guess Rattlemaster.
Yeah.
That'll go.
Monasteries, Mentor, Grand Soul Funk Railroad.
Yeah, I guess all those little guys.
The kitty.
What's that?
Fleeceman Lion.
No, it's
3/3. Idiots.
Either way, I bet you like this would be like not good late game, but if you have an opening hand, you're like you just use it on the first thing that comes out that could be a threat. You know,
yeah.
Secret Away, whatever. Just get that fucking thing out of here.
It's like when you hold up a counterspell on turn 2. Like, no matter what they play, you're going to counter that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you just wasted a turn doing nothing, so.
Yeah, exactly. You have to you're going to draw cards later. You'll get more counters. No big deal.
All right, well, if that's all we have for the SCG, we're going to move on to a modern deck that I was going to build.
So what's the guy's name?
All right.
What's his name?
So I was going to build this, and now I'm not going to out of spite, because as soon as I brought it up the hot sauce, he was like, oh,
same day. Same like hour.
yeah. He was like, oh, you're talking about the email? And I'm like, email? What are you talking about? He's like, oh, check the If Lands Could Kill Gmail account. So I go look, and we got this email from a listener. His name is Garen.
From Kentucky. Garen from Kentucky.
He says, yo guys, you have the only podcast I can say I've listened to from the beginning. You all have a great cast, but Peppermint Swirl is the best, hands down.
Is that the craziest sentence you ever heard in your life?
And he should be on every cast.
Well, Garen, that's not much wrong with you.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
You must be Peppermint Swirl.
Yeah, he's got nothing going on, so out of pity, we haven't been on the cast.
He says, anyway, I'm in the same boat as you all are as far as Modern goes. I have never really played it, and I don't have the money for a Tier 1 deck. Check out the link below. This is what I bought in with, and love it so far. Enjoy your breakfast sausage and titty punching fat chick.
Yeah, last episode running into that chick at your work. That's what he's referencing.
Yeah. And how she smells like delicious sausage. So,
Sausages.
All the sausage.
so this deck was in a featured article on MTG Goldfish. And it's, I don't know, Saffron Olive wrote it, and it's a budget magic. And you can buy this deck for $57
Super fucking budget. Jesus
or
Christ.
7 tickets on Magic Online. And it's called Blistering Rage. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Have you guys watched any of the videos? Because I didn't watch any of the videos.
I didn't watch any of the
I
videos.
didn't know
Well,
what this
when I looked at the deck, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I got it. We're good to go. I get it's kind of, like you said, it's kind of like Storm.
It's like Storm, but you're pumping into a creature rather than a Storm card.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like simple enough. I guess the problem with decks like this is like, when do you go off? That's the whole problem. You gotta like evaluate what they have, what open mana they have, and all that nonsense. Then you can figure out like when to storm.
So they sit there with one white mana open, and then you pump everything into it all some path. Like, oh no,
yeah, pretty much.
So this is what is it, mono red? Yeah, mono red deck.
Mono red, yeah.
So the first
16 mountains is the mana base. So first, I want to say that really quick. It's a 60 card deck, and it's got 16 mountains as its mana base.
Basic lands,
and only 16 of them.
That's why it's a fucking
you're just like,
$57 deck.
The fuck is going on here? It's already, you're like, what? I'm scared. I would run like 19 in this thing. I don't even fucking know what to tell you. I'm already, even if it's like totally proven, I'm like, fuck that.
So, we got 4 Blister Coil Weirds, whenever, it's a 1/1, and it says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this thing gets +1/+1 till end of turn and untap it.
So it's like, it's like prowess kind of, like before prowess was a thing.
Yeah. And then we have the Killing Fiend for 1 in red. It's a 1/2. Whenever you cast an instant, I'm trying to bounce my voice off of my hand.
Yeah, but you're making it sound worse, honestly.
Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this thing gets +3/+0 until end of turn.
I play that guy in my Shuyan deck. Because of Double Strike.
Of course. And then of course we have Monastery Swiftspear for 1 red mana. It's a 1/2 and it has haste and prowess.
So all those are play sets.
You're basically playing like whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, this thing gets bigger on its own besides the pump spell.
Right.
That's all you're playing.
I think it's hilarious that the Monastery Swiftspears are $10 of this deck.
No, it's $250 each.
Well, I know, but I mean, essentially that's like, the most expensive thing on there. Yes, 4 of those.
I kept my place. I was gonna sell it back and I'm like, wait a minute. Star City Games, they gave me like $150 for a fucking uncommon from the cons.
They did MTG Goldfish put out a list of like most played modern cards now, and that's in the top 10.
Oh yeah, I bet. So I was like, I'm gonna hold on to these. Like these aren't going anywhere. Yeah. So fuck that. This is like the new Delver or something. Screw that.
So here is all the instants and sorceries that are gonna make these guys crazy. We got Assault Strobe. For a single mountain, target creature gains double strike until end of turn.
Sorcery. Just so you know, that's like the only bad thing, but it is 1 mana, so why not?
And everything is a 4 of. Everything's a playset. And we got Apostle's Blessing for 1 and a Phyrexian white mana. Target artifact or creature you control gains protection from artifacts or from the color of your choice until end of turn.
Oh, that's helpful.
So protection, they can't block, they can't, in response to them killing it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it, gets the prowess going.
So the one key thing about this too is that like target something gets protection for something, that's a white thing. So you got to play the only one that has Phyrexian mana because it's a red deck. So you can actually, it's like oh, I wish I could have a protection spell, but I'm playing red. It's like, oh, but wait, I can pay 2 life, and I don't need any fucking color mana.
Yeah.
So that's what this card kind of threw me off for a second. I'm like, oh, it's really good. But wait, can it even play it? Oh, Phyrexian mana, that's badass. So
We also got Brutal Force for a single red.
Brute Force.
Brute Force, target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn.
Fruit Force.
I don't know why that was really funny. Fruit Force.
I'm an idiot. That's
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be funny. It's just, that's so stupid. I know.
These next 2 cards are in my Storm deck.
So we got Desperate Ritual for
Every
1
deck.
and a
Yeah.
red. Instant, add red to your mana pool. It also has Splice into Arcane, but there's no Arcane spells in this deck. So
It really splits into itself. It's an arcane
Splice into
as well.
itself.
Oh, it splices
And
into itself?
If you have 2 in
If
your
you have
hand,
two, yeah.
then you can pay the first 2 mana to cast it, and then you can pay 2 more mana to go and splice it. So as long as you have 4 mana, then
Yeah.
you can keep this card in your hand, and then you pay it again. And so it basically turns from paying 2 into 3 into paying 4 into 6, I guess. So yeah.
Wow.
And then
So it's
another
just
2
another way.
more of those who hit 3 more mana. So
Yeah.
Nice, and it adds 3 red mana to your mana pool. We also got Manamorphosis.
I think this one's a little more powerful because it draws a card, which is what you want in a way of like getting the storm thing going on.
So for 1 and a Gruul, or red or green, but in this case it's going to be
Gruul.
red. Instant. That's the first thing he said in an hour.
I am Gruul.
Did someone say Gruul? Rocky Road?
Does deck play Domri?
Yeah, right?
So,
That's the first thing you said in an hour.
If not Gruul, then die.
so add 2 mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, draw a card.
Helps the storm.
Yep. And we got Mutagenic Growth for a single Phyrexian green mana.
So once again, you're not playing green, but you know what? You don't care about your life total, so go ahead and go crazy.
Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. We have Temur Battle Rage for 1 and a red. Instant, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Ferocious, that creature also gains trample until end of turn if you control a creature with power of 4 or greater.
This is sweet because it's instant, but of course you want the trample.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be a blocker when you go off. It has to happen that way. So you just make sure that you stack this bitch up, and then you have this thing to give it trample. You'd hope. I mean, maybe there's a way to get around it where they don't have a blocker, but you're just gonna assume that by the time this thing goes off, which is maybe like turn 3 or something like that, you better have a blocker.
If you have
Or the protection spell too.
the Kiln Fiend out there, it's
Kiln
only
Fiend? Why is this a hard time saying
Kil-
Kiln Fiend?
Kilned.
Kiln.
Kiln.
K-I-L-N. Kiln.
Kiln.
Well, then you
Is there
gotta
not-
cast.
is there I in there?
You gotta cast 1 spell before that to trigger it, and then you pay this.
Right.
Yeah.
Or no, what?
Or no, does it trigger itself?
So what would go first? The chicken or the egg?
Oh yeah, this one that resolved first. So you're right. Yeah, so that actually by itself would work.
Yeah, so you cast Temur Battle Rage, and then the quote-unquote prowess of the Fiend goes on the stack, and so he would have 4, and then when that goes down to the Temur Battle Rage, it'll recognize the 4.
Yeah, it'll check
power.
itself. Okay, is there something with 4 greater? Yes, there is. Good, we're good to go.
And Titan Strength also,
Titan
of
Strength
course.
sees like a lot of play, surprisingly. Like looking at all these budget decks,
a really
if they're
good
playing
card.
red and they're doing something like this, like they're always running 4 Titan Strength.
Scrying is
Plus,
fun.
it's a
Scry,
scry.
that's
1 and a scry. That doesn't.
Yeah, they don't care about
pretty
toughness.
good.
They're getting +3 and they're getting scry out of it, which is dope. So
And then, like Sauce said, 16 mountains. So you're saving like $200
On land.
on fucking lands by just going to your fucking local fucking land station.
then you go into the trash can outside and you just find, oh, these fucking land cards.
It's like going after a Friday Night Magic and just sift through the trash.
These dumbasses just threw a modern deck away.
It's like $200 it just gave me.
And in the sideboard we got Gut Shot, Lightning Bolt, Young Pyromancer, Smash to Smithereens, and a Crowan Crusader.
Yeah, so I'm just guessing when like things are going to be able to block, and you just have just shit to upset what you're trying to do. You just bring some of this stuff in.
It seems like when you have to go wide.
Yeah.
You know, because a Crown Crusader and Young Pyromancer create tokens, so if you need to go wide instead of tall, then you bring these guys in. Smash to Smithereens.
Obvious.
Just a good card.
No, I mean it's fucking modern, so you're going to be playing against artifacts.
Yep.
Simple as that.
And then Lightning Bolt, and then Gut Shot for the Storm kill. And yeah. I mean, this
No,
deck...
that's not Storm. No, that one's not Storm.
Oh, that
Grape
one's not
shot
the
is
Storm.
in-
no, that
Grape
one's just-
shot.
That shot is 1 damage
Grape
for
shot's the other
Phyrexian Red.
Phyrexian Red.
So I'm guessing maybe it's against stuff like Birds of Paradise or some crap like that, maybe, or just stuff that's in the way, I guess. Or maybe like the infect creature. When it becomes an infect creature, you're able to just go ahead and just pin that baby down. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Because the infect deck might be faster than you, so you might need to bring in shit like this to kill it like right off the bat. And then you can just Phyrexian mana like boom, like right away. Like doesn't even matter what turn it is. You just fucking pay 2 life and there it is. You just kill him.
Nice.
So I'm guessing that's what it'd be for.
Nice. Well, I mean, this deck looks really interesting. Like he was saying that he was able to get a turn 2 kill, and then he got some turn 3 and turn 4 kills. But it can be very fast.
So I'm guessing just like
that's what it's meant to be.
Monastery or Blister Coil, and then from there you probably like start with the Mana Morphos, and then just go off from there. Mana Morphos into Desperate Ritual, and then just throw all the 5 pump spells you have left over in your hand into it and just call it good.
Yeah.
So it seems like, at least.
So yeah, that deck, and I'll probably build it online if it's 7 fucking tickets.
Yes, that's too cheap not to build online.
So I'll probably mess around with that. And thank you, listener, for actually contributing, Mr. Guerin.
From Kentucky.
From Kentucky.
He's still
Kentucky.
wrong off fucking Peppermint Swirl though, but yeah.
yeah. So,
And because of that, fuck you, everyone in Kentucky. You
Kentucky.
motherfuckers, you have no idea.
Stupid backwood hillbilly
Goddamn
motherfuckers.
fried chicken fat asses.
so Sauce had initially replied to him. He sent him an email back.
Said
and,
Kentucky.
No, and he started out, "Hello there, Guerin from Kentucky," and for some reason that reminded me of Homestar Runner. You know, when Songbad would reply, and he's like...
And you know what you did? You just nailed it. Swear to God. When I was going to respond to him, I was like, all right, what's the best way to say this? I was trying to I was going to maybe add more to it or something like that. I was thinking exactly what you're thinking of.
High five, dude. High five, yeah.
Fucking asshole.
And he always gets their name wrong.
Yeah, no, I should have done that. No, that would have been a stretch. I would have been like hashtag Homestar Runner after that one. Make sure people understand what's going on.
Strong bad.
Hashtag strong bad. Strong bad email.
Check it email.
Email.
Yeah.
So, lastly, we're going to take a look at Hot Sauce's splendid new Tiny Leaders deck.
It's okay. So really, first off, I printed it out. It's a deck list that I completely just stole offline, and I actually don't. Let me. So I'm talking about yourselves. Talking about yourselves, or take a break or something. I don't even know. Well, I got to look up the commander. That's the problem. I don't know the commander's name. So
Your own commander.
the commander is
Isamaru?
It's I don't know Japanese, bro.
Something.
Someone almost spit out their rock star right
All
now.
over my laptop, too. God.
Hound of Konda. Okay, it's not getting better, okay? It's a 1 white mana for a 2/2 legendary hound. That's it. That's all it is. The 2/2 for 1 white mana, and it's legendary.
And this is your time.
And then, so I saw this deck on Tapped Out, and I was like, this is the commander? So what's going on here? Like, why is this, what's going on? I don't understand. So I'm like, alright, maybe they just wanted, they're playing mono white, so they just pulled up, whatever commander they wanted to, and, don't even play it. I don't know. And, come to find out, it's basically like a white, heroic deck sort of thing, where you just play, I think 17 lands, I think, or 16 lands, and you have 3 other creatures in the deck. So it's like a creatureless deck that's not control. So it's already really fucking weird. You basically play this guy on turn 1 if you're on the play, and probably turn 2 if you're on the draw, because you want to leave open a protection spell for him. It's kind of like Boggles, if you've played Boggles too. Kind of like a heroic style or Boggles style. Heroic's all about instants and enchantments attaching to draw cards and gain life. That's what the standard's all about. And then protection spells like God's Willing. Well, this one is all the white enchantments from Boggles, which are the totem armor ones where it gets +1/+1 and protection from creatures, or +1 and vigilance, and just whatever, all these random enchantments on there that are all really cheap. And then you have cards that will give things double strike, and then you have cards that give protection from colors.
Or
and that's
creatures.
What's that?
Protection from creatures.
Yeah, but that's the enchantments do that, yeah.
Yeah.
The spells don't do that. They just give protection from whatever. So basically you start off with this guy, and then Your opponent does this thing, and you don't care because whenever he tries to kill it, you protect it, and every turn you just swing in, and because it's protected or it has a first strike and trample and all this bullshit like Boggles is, it's kind of hard to block, like you're gonna chump every time because this one guy is pretty much guaranteed to be bigger than your opponent's board. So, and even if it is bigger, you just hold back a turn, leave protection spell, and then you just swing in that way. So, it plays like tons of God's Willing type effects. It plays 3 creatures. It plays Mother of Runes, which is a protection spell. Just tap it. Target creature gets protection from color of your choice. It plays a 1/1 for 1 exalted creature, and that's all it is. So it's it's on the board, but all it is kind of like your backup if this thing dies and you don't have the mana to buy it back out of your command zone. Otherwise, it just sits there. If someone plays something like target player sacrifices a creature, you sacrifice this instead. And it has Exalted, so whenever your creature attacks, which you're only attacking with your one Isamaru guy, or whatever his name is, then you just give him another +1/+1. So he's like a little value creature. The third one is the Soul something Paladin. It's like a 2/2 from, I think, Avacyn Restored. And it is... When it comes on the battlefield, as long as this thing is soul bound with another creature, which is whenever it enters, you just choose a creature on your board, and they become paired, then both of them get double strike. So same thing, this thing just sits there. You don't even need to attack with it. All it is a way to have a creature to sacrifice if something like that goes wrong, and it gives your creature with all this enchantment shit on it double strike. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a very simple deck. I printed it because I didn't want to It's like a one-trick pony, and I don't want to have that deck bought, purchased, and sitting in my library to be played for the next 5 fucking years, because I don't want to play it for the next 5 years. But it is interesting to bring something out and just sit back like Boggles, and nothing has hexproof. All it is relying on your white spells and just doing some business. So, yeah, interesting things is it plays land tax, which because you're not playing many lands, whenever you're on your upkeep, if your opponent has more lands than you, then you get to search your library for 3 basic land cards and put them in your hand. So you always get to have lands. You always have as much as them. Whatever land advantage, mana advantage they have, you're gonna have. And then you actually possibly more for a couple turns.
Are you using the old school, Circle of Protection Red and those kind of cards?
What is that one?
It's the same thing. It's just an enchantment, basically, thing you put on your creature. This creature has protection from red. Or protection from black, protection from red, protection from green.
In my sideboard, I have 1 card that gets protection from blue and green. But everything else is nothing like that. Everything else is just protection from creatures. One of them is prevent all damage done to this creature. It's 1 in a white, and it's an enchantment that you just attach, and it's just prevent all damage to this thing. So that's dope. If you're playing a deck that isn't black or white, it's well, you don't beat it then, I guess. You can't kill with red. You can't kill with green, you can't fight it, you can't do shit. So that's a pretty dope card. It's just, you just look through the Magic search engine and just find all the cheap enchantments in white, and just go to fucking town. And then it plays, what is it, Enlightened Tutor?
Yeah.
1 mana one that you search up, you tutor up a enchantment or artifact and put on top of your library, instant speed. Besides that, I guess there's an artifact that gives +2/+0, and then whenever someone targets that creature that the thing's attached to, it does 2 damage to them. So it's kind of like an Eidolon, a Great Revel type effect if you try to do something to it. That's pretty much it. I played a couple games with it. It was pretty mixed. I mean, it was half and half, I guess. I wasn't doing probably lost actually more than anything, but it, if the opponent couldn't take care of it, if they didn't have the removal, I will win. I don't think that there's many decks out there that, can beat the speed of it. It's just decks that can they counter my spells and deal with the creature? Did I have a protection spell or didn't I? If I'm pretty loaded with protection and my best enchantments, I don't know why I won't win. Like Daybreak Coronet, thing's fucking ridiculous. +3/+3 and Vigilance and First Strike and Lifelink. No, that's Ethereal Armor. That one's also dope. This one's it gets Lifelink, +3/+3, and Vigilance and First Strike or something like that. Some just ridiculous package for 2 mana.
Crazy.
But you can only attach it to a creature that already has an enchantment on it, which is not a big deal. I mean, you're already gonna have it, but it's a pretty broken fucking card, and it's probably $15 even. So yeah, anyway, that's
got reprinted in the new Modern Masters.
It did, yeah.
I think it's $10, but
so the price went down a lot, because of that. But it was, I think, probably in the 20s then. But everything went half price. I guess not Tarmogoyf, but damn near everything
is back to going up again.
Yeah, fucking everything from Modern Masters went way low.
Well, all the rares went down, but all the mythics. Not all of them.
No, I'd say Bitter Blossoms went down by half. There's a lot of them that went down by half. Iona went down by half.
That's good.
A lot of shit. What other things are you thinking about? The Alien Click went down like $20.
I just know some of them.
Down that far.
Some of them
went down that far.
Some of them dipped and then like bounced back up, but
Yeah.
a lot of the rares I know went down. I don't know about the mythics.
Right.
But,
I think Cryptic Command. I think it's like $25 now, and it was like $50. I think so.
Fuck, yeah, give me one of those before it goes back up.
Yeah. Yep.
So I actually have a Tiny Leaders deck that I brewed up, but I'll probably save it for next week because I haven't played it yet. So, but just to give you a little teaser, it's a Simic Evolve counter deck. Not counter spells, but 1/1 counters. And the leader is Edric, Spymaster of Trest.
Wow, mouthful.
That's actually my leader for my Infect deck as well.
Yeah, it's not all that great, but whenever it's a 2/2, whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. Whatever. So, look forward to that next week. And I think that's actually it for this week's episode.
Yeah. Check us out. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter. Please, everyone, just, like I said, send those dick pics.
Shout out to Garen.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Kentucky.
Yeah. You're so hilarious.
I know.
And cute. And adorable. You want to do something later tonight?
Maybe.
I like
just butt stuff.
Yeah. Just butt stuff.
Cool. Well, that's out.
And I'm Knife City.
This is right.
Samhain Crow. That's us.
And we'll catch you guys later.
What's the difference between dip?
I always look it up on TCG Player.
Dip, you fucking.
Then you go to Dex, and then you go to the
This is
newest
a pouch?
standard or whatever.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it doesn't make you have to spit it all either. So you can do this wherever, not be throw spitting
Because he likes to swallow.
And it's a lot less strong.
Is it more expensive then?
It's not as salty.
Is it about the same price for Cannon?
It's always the same salty content.
Yeah, Copenhagen. God damn it, Copenhagen.
The whole thing, I'm curious how they get the cum into the little packet.
It's not inside, it's a coating.
Oh, it's a coating that comes
It's like a glaze, like a
Tobacco, it's tobacco cup.
Cum glaze.
Cascade the cum.
Yeah, it's pretty machine, it just spread on over, you know?
Haven't you seen it on the Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
How they made it.
How it's made.
How it's made.
And then it's like the uppity guy's voice. It's like, come back.
How they make. It's the lower budget brother.
How it's made. Cum tobacco. The lawn chairs, whatever.
Cumebacco.
Yeah, the tobacco company has a stronghold on the market right now.
You're looking for
Joe Cool Cum Camel.
Okay. It's time to close.